It's Gabe, but he's not hosting.
I know.
He's on the show, but he's not hosting.
I'm shirking my duties.
It's different from last week.
Yeah. I'm not hosting either.
Yeah.
What do you mean it's different?
Well, last week we had the all-women cast. It was,
yes.
Now it's like, it's cool, and then it's Gabe.
I know. Sorry, Gabe. It's cool, though. We welcome you back.
Thanks. I feel so welcome.
Mr. Man, our token man.
Yeah, well.
We have to pick with you. So I guess on the agenda today, we found out yesterday that we will be going back to the State House next week.
Always, every day.
Exactly.
I mean, not every day, but it seems like every day.
Seems like it. It's never a dull moment. Back to Senate Bill 28, which is our fetal tissue disposal bill.
I mean, it's not ours.
Ours that we're opposing. Does anybody want to talk about that?
Going back on the 28th for Senate Bill 28. We'll remember that.
Right.
I mean, there's really not much that can be said that hasn't already been said at this point. It's a bad bill. It's the funeral directors are gonna get a lot of money and waste a lot of time.
It's unconstitutional.
Yeah, I mean,
as is every other abortion bill that goes to the State House
that doesn't really
the House.
Right. Yeah, I mean they're signing up for yet another court battle.
Is this the third hearing of this bill in the House?
I believe so, because normally it's sponsor, proponent, opponent.
Right.
And then a vote.
Okay, so this is proponent?
Opponent.
Opponent.
This would be us.
Okay.
So yeah, they're hearing a bill that's been blocked in another state. So a federal judge in Indiana?
Yeah.
Has already taken a look at this and said, no, this is an unconstitutional undue burden. It's just designed to shame women and increase costs. So we're not going to let this go through.
Correct.
But Ohio's going to consider it.
But Ohio's like, you know what looks good? This looks good.
This is not surprising.
Right.
So that will be on the 28th of next week.
Come see Jamie kick some ass.
Yeah.
Yes, on Jamie Miracle. And so.
Right. The whole thing was, it was a product of these, the heavily edited videos that these anti-Planned Parenthood groups put together.
The Center for Medical Progress.
Right.
Yes.
Ohio Attorney General Mike DeWine jumped all over this. He was like, oh my God, I have to get on this. And he basically fabricated this entire narrative about abortion clinics in the state of Ohio that have been following the law.
What'd they find, Gabe?
They found nothing.
Yeah, nothing at all.
Except for
there you go. I was going to say
the fact that the processes that that all of our clinics use are the same processes that, responsible processes that hospitals and even John Kasich's prisons also use.
Exactly.
This is the industry standard for healthcare. But we have to ban it for only abortion clinics and only for abortions, not for miscarriages.
Not for
it's a terrible
anything
law.
else. So yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of it comes down to like, oh, well, we talk more about abortion. They're doing bad things, but we don't want to talk about miscarriages doing bad things.
Right.
It's nonsensical.
It's stigmatizing. So once again, opposing a bill that is unconstitutional. A waste of taxpayers' time, money, and so
just head in hand. Another Wednesday at the State House,
right? And really, the one person who should be, labeled with pushing this along is really Mike DeWine. He's not a legislator. He's not going to sign the bill because he's not governor yet. He's not going to be governor because he sucks.
Hint, hint.
But he's the guy that's responsible for this completely irresponsible legislation. Boo.
Boo.
Yeah.
How long can we talk about this, like these bills, before we're just like, I don't want to talk about it anymore? Why is it still around? Go away.
Unfortunately, I guess it's one of those things. I mean, it's what we do, though. We have to be that voice in the community that fights these type of bills. And so, unfortunately, we'll always have to talk about it.
How many years has this bill been introduced into the legislature?
This is its second go around, so this is year 4 for this legislature.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay,
there's always going to be some legislator that's going to introduce it, I believe.
So it's basically we're gonna hang out with these bills until they get passed by the Ohio House and Senate and then signed or vetoed, but veto just starts the process again. So sign into law or veto override, and then we hopefully sue, depending on the bill.
Yes.
And then maybe it'll eventually go away. So we're looking at a 10-year process from like the inception of like some bills.
Yes.
Cool.
Unless we bring in legislators who understand that this
absolutely.
is a giant waste of time and money.
So unless you want us to talk about these bills for the next 6 years, please vote for pro-choice candidates.
If you're listening to this, you don't.
This is why voting is so important.
Yeah.
And voting against Mike DeWine.
Exactly.
Can you imagine a legislature where we are talking about proactive bills and this is a happy podcast?
One of these days.
Yeah.
You know, the thing that stinks, and okay, I'm gonna crap all over the party that we support here. when I started with Planned Parenthood was in 2008,
a shining beacon of hope,
and we had a Democratic majority in the Ohio House and did not get floor votes on proactive legislation. So it's
why?
It's a fine question. You know, it is important to ask both the candidates that you're voting against and the candidates that you're voting for how they feel on these issues. If they,
that's true,
you know, just support them enough to check the box, or if they actually will stand up in support of real solutions, you know, ensuring affordable access to contraceptives,
absolutely,
sex education programming, comprehensive sex education.
Yes.
Would you say that the candidates that NARAL Pro-Choice Ohio endorses are those candidates? That'll be the ones that are going to stand up?
Ding.
I mean, like, as a new staffer, like, that's actually like something that I'm glad to know. Like, it's not just like, yes, they are pro-choice, but like, I like, okay, that's great, but like, are they going to actually do the work when they get into office? Like, that's what I want to know.
Right. The endorsements are decided upon by the board. So
not us.
we don't get a vote. But they don't hand them out like business cards.
Right. So
these
it
are
is
earned.
an extensive process that, you know, they have to go through, and hopefully, you know, the correct person is selected.
I mean, I hope so.
Right.
If it's extensive.
Yeah.
So basically, I'm hearing the NARAL Pro-Choice Ohio endorsement carries some weight.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
I'm glad to hear that. When are our endorsements going to be announced? Do we know?
I don't know, because I'm not a part of that process.
Bored. Let us know.
It's below all of our pay grades.
Below, I guess. Yeah, they're simultaneously.
Above. Right?
They don't get paid, but they are in charge of
that.
us. So it's both below and above our pay grade.
It's the thing
Life.
I said, but opposite. Yeah, so I'm going to throw an audible into our agenda. The candidates for governor, the field changed since our last thing.
It has. So we have.
There's no women.
We have no women now.
Started the race with like what, 4 or 5 women?
There's no women on the Democratic side. On the Republican side, there's Mary Taylor, who no one's going to vote for.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Be nice, Gabe.
that was being nice.
Oh my gosh. So we did start the race with Betty Sutton, Connie Pillage, and Nan Whaley, and that was only 3. I think there was only 3. And now we're down to none. Yes. So we still have Richard Cordray. We have Dennis Kucinich, and you guys blasted me last time for like saying his last name wrong. We have Bill O'Neill. We have Joe Schiavone, and who am I missing? We have is it just 4 now?
Yes.
Okay.
4 dudes. White dudes.
So Connie Pillage has been a champion for women for years, a terrific servant of the people of Cincinnati and of the state of Ohio. It's a true shame that she is no longer a candidate for governor in the state. And
Betty Sutton joined Cordray's ticket, right?
Correct.
Yes. Okay.
We already talked about Nan Whaley. She's totally awesome. Okay. Whoever, whichever Democrat wins the
she was
wins
mayor,
governor.
It was or is mayor.
It is mayor.
Well, I hope that she. Well, I guess it's too late for the filing deadline.
She is I would bet money. If you want to win back $10, I would bet money that whoever wins our next Democrat governor of the state of Ohio is going to pick her up for a cabinet spot. She's going to be like the next director of the Department of fill in the blank, education, health, commerce, insurance, whatever, because she's terrific. Both Nan Whaley and Connie Pillich need to be key parts of the next administration. I won't bet
against that because I have to agree with you.
Smart move, yeah.
It'd be cool if she ran for House of Reps and just like in Dayton, because Dayton needs some good folks.
Yes. Yeah. It would be.
Yeah.
Dayton, don't let me down. So going back to, in a roundabout way, proactive legislation. Something has come up regarding like the clinic ordinance, sort of.
Yes.
So in Columbus, we passed a clinic ordinance in 2016? Yeah, it's got to be 2016. And then Toledo is like in the process, maybe considering a clinic protection ordinance, which was violated 2 days ago.
Right.
So our own, favorite daughter, Michelle Davis,
special sister.
Yes.
Yeah, like just one of our own.
Yep, she's one of our own.
Sure.
Basically, the one of
previous guest on this podcast.
Yes. And just general hellraiser. She's a clinic escort at Founders Women's Health Clinic, and this past Wednesday, I don't know what day it is. She was assaulted by a protester.
Actually struck.
Yeah, actually struck.
Literally.
Yes.
He smacked her.
Yeah. On like with an open hand on the back. It was like at the end of her shift, she was about to leave, and she like didn't recognize this guy, so she like wanted to take a picture just for documentation.
Yeah, he tried to grab her phone
and started yelling at her, and like while she was like bent over, like because he was trying to
grab her phone. Yeah, they kind of fought for it.
Yeah, he smacked her on the back.
Right. And for anybody who thinks, oh, she was taking his picture,
that's legally allowed.
Exactly.
A, it's legal. B, if you're outside an abortion clinic, this is what happens. The protesters take pictures of the patients, the staff, the escorts,
and then put them on websites to like try and shame them and put them on blast.
Clinic escorts do take pictures of the protesters. This happens all the time. This is not an uncommon, like, why did the person take my picture? If you're protesting outside an abortion clinic,
it's legally allowed.
There's just going to be pictures of everybody taken.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
I mean, so part of it's documentation because it is like a safety thing. Like, I don't know.
Absolutely.
As we've seen in New Jersey this week, the man stole a bakery truck and then crashed into a Planned Parenthood.
Right. So these minor incidents can obviously turn into a major incident. Like, this is not anything that I would call, that I would say wasn't serious, because obviously people are becoming very serious about things like this when it comes to abortions and, you know, how they feel about the situation.
And I mean, clearly this is like something that needed to be documented. If a protester's response to having his picture taken is to physically assault a clinic escort, maybe he shouldn't be at the clinic protesting.
Absolutely.
Right.
So,
you know, I'm always reminded whenever we talk about pictures outside clinics of the hearing in Toledo. You brought up the clinic protection ordinance that the city council up there is considering. One of the points that was raised during the testimony over that ordinance, multiple anti-abortion people testifying.
Were they actually from Toledo? Because in Columbus, all the antis were not actually from Columbus.
I didn't follow them home.
No, they had to like list their address. None of them were for Columbus.
Oh, could be.
Interesting.
But so multiple people there swore up and down that no, we don't take pictures. We don't write down license plates. And then there was this little old lady, and she steps up and she's like, well, I write down the license plate numbers so that we know who's going in and out of the
And let me just tell you, if somebody's writing down my license plate, I'm going to be extremely freaked out about that. Like, why?
Right. So, you know, taking pictures of protesters, this was not something that she was doing to, you know, she wasn't initiating anything. She wasn't antagonizing this guy. She was just taking his picture. That's what happens. For him to escalate that, to physically grab her, to bend her over and smack her, that's completely out of bounds, like, total assault.
Exactly.
Horrible.
Like, yeah, you completely went from one extreme to the next. So
right. This is why we ask politicians to dial back the extreme rhetoric that they use, to stop using graphic imagery.
Yes.
You know, to get these extremist anti-abortion groups recognized for how horrible they are.
Exactly.
It's because it causes people to do more extreme things physically, like hit people and drive trucks into Planned Parenthood locations.
I can't help but think, nope, forget what I was going to say. I mean, I don't understand how these people can't see their own hypocrisy, where they're taking pictures of patients, they're taking pictures of clinic escorts, they are harassing these people, and even like just the slightest bit of, well, I'm going to document you just in case you decide to come kill me later, is going to end up with like our clinic escorts getting assaulted.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it seems to be like the people that are protecting the patients are a lot more peaceful than the protesters, than the anti. So I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, this guy was a volunteer with 40 Days for Life. It's currently the 40 Days for Life, in case anyone who's listening didn't know. That started on Valentine's Day and will end on Easter Sunday, which is April Fool's Day. So just kind of bookends of holidays that are.
So for people who may not know what that is, or
increased activity of protesters at the clinic. So they protest every day for 40 days during Lent. It actually happens now biannually, so it happens twice a year. Not sure when it happens in the fall. I'm not sure why it happens in the fall, but it does.
Interesting.
The one that makes sense to me is the spring during Lent, but
right.
I don't know what's going on. Do you know why they do it in the fall?
No.
Okay. But yeah, so yeah, it starts on Ash Wednesday / Valentine's Day, because nothing says I love you like reminders of your mortal peril. And ends on April Fool's Day. I don't need a comment for that one. Sorry. It's just funny.
Yeah, unfortunately, the situation itself
not so funny.
Right.
Not at all. And so we definitely are showing our support for
yeah, we'll definitely keep abreast of the situation and what's going on.
Exactly. And
but yeah, I mean, that's a relatively minor incident in the scope of things with regards to clinic ridiculousness. But yeah, there was a truck driving into a New Jersey Planned Parenthood this week. Right. The initial reports were like unsure of motive of driver, and we're like, okay, that's nice.
Exactly.
That must be nice to be like hanging out in your little journalist world. Like, I don't think about abortion every day, so clearly that's not what's going on here.
Right. His motive was he hates Planned Parenthood.
And I'm going to drive a truck into the side of it.
Right.
And the result is that clinic is now temporarily closed.
Absolutely.
Patients do not have access to these services they were going to Planned Parenthood for, which he sought to block.
Which everyone maybe not even going there for an abortion or anything pertaining to an abortion. Planned Parenthood
we don't know if it was an
more
abortion clinic.
Exactly.
Honestly,
than that. So
the likelihood is that it was not an abortion clinic.
Exactly. So
the reports said that one pregnant person was injured, so it could have very well been a clinic that provides prenatal services,
birth control, or even mammogram
well, I mean, it's
services,
a little late if she's already pregnant.
Oh, I mean, just like for other people, you know what I mean? I'm sure they provide an array of services, so people may have an agenda and just.
I mean, even if it is an abortion clinic, don't drive a truck into
exactly.
the side of it.
Correct.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I completely agree. I guess I just my point was that people they do things for one reason, and it's like you're completely just off base.
It must be nice to like not have to think about this all day every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unsure of motive. Sure. Okay. Whatever, dude.
This is our world. So. Yeah. And then in the scope of things, we had the good news of Toledo.
Yeah. It's hopefully gonna stay open because in bad news
again,
the clinic will stay open.
I don't want to. Do we
have
to continue to be the bearer of bad news?
Yes.
No.
That's our job.
No. I refuse.
The good news is that as soon as the Ohio Department of Health restores the license for Capital Care, full abortion services will again be available in Toledo. That's the good news. The bad news is that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
So we're asking folks to contact the director of the Department of Health, Lance Himes, and say, hey, dude, restore the license. They've met all of the
requirements,
both the legitimate ones and the BS that's been fabricated by John Kasich to attempt to block the clinic. They've met all the requirements.
So there's no reason right now why there should be any type of hold up.
Correct.
Teresa Fetter, friend of ours, she did write a letter to the Department of Health saying that they should go ahead and restore the license. And there was many other legislators who signed on.
That's cool.
Yes.
Yes.
So
who is the ODH director?
Lance Himes.
Is he appointed?
He is appointed.
Oh.
This decision, the previous appointee for the Department of Health was Richard Hodges. He's the guy in the marriage equality case of Obergefell versus Hodges.
Yes.
He was the guy that was opposing marriage equality.
Oh.
He was like a really blatant political appointee. And then he had an underling named Lance Himes, who was kind of like the department's legal guy.
Okay.
That person is now the director. He's
so many connections.
He's there. He was always sort of seen as just a straightforward, I'm going to do the legal work of the Department of Health. He's taking the orders on strategy from John Kasich's office.
Okay.
That's where the Department of Health always takes their cues for abortion stuff. If that wasn't the case, then they wouldn't be harassing clinics like they do.
Yeah,
gross.
Exactly.
So this decision,
I hate this.
While it's immediately in the hands of Lance Himes, is basically
politics.
John Kasich saying, hold on, let's drag our feet a little more, because every day we block women from the care that they're seeking.
So even though ProMedica signed the transfer agreement, we're going to just continue to drag our feet to make them wait, because we can.
But it's about patient safety.
Right. They need to restore the license to ensure that access to care continues in the city of Toledo. It's the constitutional right of people in Northwest Ohio to have a clinic in their community that has met all of the requirements of the state of Ohio to be a safe and legal abortion provider.
So should we get a new governor, they will appoint a new ODH director?
Yes.
Oh.
and that, the thing that's terrifying is that while Kasich has been completely anti-abortion, there always has been this lens of, the potential presidential race looking down on what he's doing.
Right.
I hope we just raise hell if he ever runs for office again.
We will.
I know. I know. But like specifically, I don't want it to just be us.
Right. Mike DeWine, on the other hand, has no such burden. He is never going to run for president. He's never going to get elected president. He's completely unpresidential. I mean,
I have no idea what Mike DeWine looks like.
Really?
Really?
Oh.
I don't go out of my way to look at this man.
Oh, yeah. Understandable.
It's not pretty.
Yeah.
So DeWine, if elected governor, would be even worse than John Kasich.
Oh, yeah. On so many levels.
In terms of an anti-abortion agenda.
So many
Women's
levels.
rights are just going right out the window with Mike DeWine.
Oh, I mean,
he's already done whatever he can to destroy them.
The term barefoot and pregnant means absolutely nothing right now.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. I don't want to do that again. It sucks.
So, yeah. We need to keep Mike DeWine away from the governor's office.
Absolutely.
That would be just
voting totally is so important on so many levels. So
yeah, I mean, even if we don't necessarily endorse in the governor's race, we will definitely fight like hell against Mike DeWine.
Yes.
What else is going on?
Guns.
That was the next note.
I'm sorry, guys. We want to talk to you guys and have a positive day in news, but it's like we have to give you what's happening in the real. So
please vote so we can give you good news.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, this whole year we're going to be working on 2018 midterms. So come out with us, come canvas with us, come phone bank with us so that we can win these elections and talk about good stuff. So
it'll be fun with an undercurrent of desperation.
Yeah. So in the spirit of talking about,
I mean, I think gun legislation and gun laws and gun control is going to be a much hotter topic in 2018 than we necessarily anticipated, at least until last week.
Yeah, exactly.
Last week in Florida, 17 students and teachers,
unimaginable,
were killed by a lone gunman at a high school in Florida, this isn't an uncommon story, in the United States.
Literally, there is almost a school shooting every week.
Yeah, but what is actually really interesting has been the response and the follow-up and the organizing by the surviving students of this high school.
They've been amazing.
Brave. I mean, just brave.
And they are holding their legislators' feet to the fire under gun legislation.
And I love it.
Oh my God, it's so good. Like, I've never seen Marco Rubio look like a person, like an uncomfortable, sweaty person.
I know.
And it's amazing.
I know. And it was done by high school students.
Yeah.
It was great.
It's really good. I mean, a lot of these students, probably most of these students, aren't old enough to vote.
Yeah,
but they are getting involved like no.
So just
other.
imagine what steps they will take once they are able to vote and make that change. It is going to be great. They were also, holding Dana, the NRA representative, accountable.
Dana Lash.
Yes. Accountable for
the statement that Emma Gonzalez, is that her name?
I was Googling it to make sure. Emma Gonzalez has been amazing.
Yes, she's also the president of her student of her high school's Gay Straight Alliance. She's a bisexual Latina.
Who Dana Lash misgendered in one of her.
Did she really? I missed that.
Yeah, if you were watching it, she called her.
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah.
She said he. And
what?
Yeah,
okay.
She said kind of this guy there because Emma has a real tight buzz cut.
Right.
Which she has said is not a political statement, but rather would just not wear a sweater on her head in Florida. And I love it.
that's a terrific point.
Dana,
Emma's been amazing.
She said, "We will do for your children what you refuse to do." And I was like, "Oh,
yeah."
I love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Completely inspirational teenagers.
I agree.
In Florida, standing up.
And I mean, I read a particular burn by them. What was it? It was something about how easy to buy. We should call it AR-15s Marco Rubios because of how easy they are to buy.
Oh, I love it! Amazing.
I was like,
can we get a bumper sticker or something like that? Like that is awesome.
That's hilarious.
It is.
I was like, yeah. There's
nice.
I mean, high schoolers and young college students are so media savvy, so they're countering these conservative conspiracy theorists. They're really amazing at organizing. They are just kicking everybody's ass, and it's just I'm glad I got into my job when I did because I know everybody coming up after me is
kidding.
Exactly. I was thinking the same thing. They're going to be amazing, and it was just, to me, I just felt like they were just brave to even be there encountering what they did. I know that had to be
it's so awesome.
Yeah,
I mean,
I can imagine dealing with that, and then having to come and relive it. And they did it with such poise,
I really hate watching the town halls on CNN or MSNBC or any network news station because it's just there's such lukewarm questioning,
right?
And there's not really any rebuttals, and that's not what happened at the CNN.
Town
hall. It was just okay, great, but you didn't answer my question. And I was like, yes,
I know. And then they tried to shut someone down if they ask harsh questions, and I'm just like, no, let them ask,
let them suffer.
Exactly. There were kids that were killed, many kids. So let them ask these questions. It's troubling.
Connie Schultz, who's the wife of Sherrod Brown, put a graphic on Facebook to explain. People have been asking, hey, how much money is Sherrod Brown getting from the NRA?
Nothing.
Zero.
Zilch. Thank
Sherrod
you.
Brown proudly gets an F from the NRA.
Exactly. They tried it.
Rob Portman got $1,472,789 from the NRA.
Are we surprised?
No.
Wow.
Marco Rubio was like, people buy into my agenda, and the whole room just boos. It's they don't anymore.
No.
So
Sherrod
Brown. He's getting an F from Right to Life, and he's getting an F from the NRA. I think he's a good guy.
Those are two really good Fs.
Yes, exactly.
If you ever want to earn an F,
those are the Fs to earn. Mm-hmm. Wow, no, that's amazing. So we're proud of our Sherrod.
Yeah, yes. I think gun legislation is going to be a big topic this year. And what came down to that, it was every town for gun safety has been putting out all this information about candidates. And the NRA had checked the wrong box, saying that they had given Sherrod Brown a little over 10 grand.
False.
But it was actually it was part of the money they spent against Sherrod Brown is what it actually was. So.
Well, I guess Donald Trump thinks now that, he tried to correct the statement. First, he said that we should arm all teachers. Then he tried to say, well, that's not what he said. What he said was all teachers who are...
I'm going to point out that Ronald Reagan was surrounded by armed CIA agents when he was shot. So, let's just trust scared teachers. It's fine.
Well, there was a teacher who actually, I think it was on the news this morning, and I heard her say like she doesn't want to be armed. She was like, I would be nervous with a gun. Like, what if I accidentally shoot one of the kids or something? You know,
I mean, honestly, like, yeah. If we arm teachers, what we're going to end up with is dead students.
Yeah, I just can we think about some of this first? Or no, we have a president who doesn't think.
Right.
And like some of the like lip services, like, oh, we should do more about mental illness. It's like, well. There are some teachers that have mental illness.
Exactly.
Like, it's not really uncommon. I mean, there's people in this office with mental illness.
That's the first time I've heard that point raised. That's really
well. I seen totally one of the students I've seen on social media said, "Well, one of my teachers actually committed suicide." Like, there's so much going on that people don't even take into consideration. Like, you can't just give every teacher a gun.
And honestly, more guns are not the answer. But also, like, it's not mental illness that is killing students. Like, this is a ridiculous point. Like,
I agree.
Like,
once again,
creating a database of people with mental illness is just going to stigmatize mental illness.
Exactly.
And
still not solve the problem.
And so, what the problem is toxic masculinity and toxic whiteness. And let's address
talk
that.
About gun reform. Let's talk about the things that really matter.
I mean, if it was mental illness, we would see half of the shooters being women, and we don't see that.
There's just so many valid points, and none of these points are being addressed the correct way. So I don't know.
Ban all guns. I'm fine with saying that. Ban all guns.
Well, I guess now we can maybe talk about some more positive things.
My baby is 6 months old today. Yeah, I kept him alive for 6 months. Proud of myself.
Now that is funny. Oh gosh, hilarious. Squish. Super cute.
Very squishy.
What's coming up on the events calendar?
Let's talking about events now.
Let's see. How well can I remember my events? March 4th is Crafternoon. This is going to be at Holy Craft from 1 to 5, not 3 to 5, 1 to 5. We're mixing it up by like testing to see like, do people need more time to craft because crafting takes longer sometimes, or it can just be a drop-in event. Anyway, Crafternoon. Come on Sunday, March 4th.
Where? Holy
Craft up in Clintonville. Hang out with me and a cat, and hopefully other people. March 7th is the next reproductive health happy hour. I'm hosting that one. It's at St. James Tavern. It's a Wednesday from 6 to 8. Please bring $5 to donate. You will get a drink ticket, which will be good for a draft beer or a well liquor drink. All of the money for this happy hour is going to go to Abortion Provider Appreciation Day. Abortion Provider Appreciation Day is March 10th. So we're going to be writing thank you notes and maybe like creating some little packages to like thank our abortion providers because they are like the front lines and the trenches of this war.
I have to admit that one every single year sneaks up on me in the calendar. Like
I gotcha.
When I'm planning the social media, like, what are we going to put up on this day? It's like,
you're welcome.
Suddenly it'll be noon that day. I'll be like, hey, it's Abortion Provider Appreciation.
It is a Saturday this year.
Every year.
It's a Saturday this year. So I'm letting you know.
We're going to have it covered this year.
Yeah. So yeah, happy hour, March 7th. March 8th is, there's also a happy hour that night at St. James for International Women's Day. We don't have anything to do with that, but I just wanted to like shout it out. That's going to be raising money for the Matriots, which I think, is it a PAC, a super PAC? I don't know what it is, but it's an organization that raises...
An actual PAC, yeah.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
It's an organization that raises money specifically to elect women, and not just women, but like, I think pro-choice progressive women.
Yes.
Which is good. And it's specific to Ohio, which is even better.
So it's kind of a local version of Emily's List.
But better.
I mean, Emily's List is pretty good.
I'm not going to talk to you about that right now.
I'm just going to say local. I'm emphasizing the local part.
Yeah. Keep your money in Ohio. March 10th is Abortion Provider Appreciation Day. March 12th, I have a phone bank on the books. We'll see if that continues to happen because I don't yet have a topic since Toledo went so well.
Yes.
Hopefully by then Lance Himes will have signed.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hopefully I won't have to,
the license.
Maybe it'll still be on Toledo. Who knows?
Exactly. We will see.
How well can you remember the calendar?
Well, I'm at March 12th right now. I don't think I have any events between March 12th and March 21st. March 21st is going to be the next Cincinnati Reproductive Health Happy Hour, and that's in Cincinnati. It'll probably be at Urban Artifact. March 22nd, I am doing my next luncheon lobby at University of Cincinnati with Representative Bridget Kelley. I did this last month with Representative Catherine Ingram, it's really cool. You get a free lunch and you get to lobby your representatives at the University of Cincinnati. It is like primarily aimed at students at University of Cincinnati. There's going to be a primer on lobbying before the actual talk with Rep. Kelley, so you can learn about what bills she's working on and like learn how to ask questions and like how to lobby. I'm just really proud of this event.
Right. Just to put a pin in the calendar, March 23rd is the date where the Down syndrome abortion ban would be enacted. It would take effect. The lawsuit was filed. I think you guys talked about that last week.
Yes.
Maybe. Sometime between now and March 23rd, I would assume that a judge is going to say, hey, there's a lawsuit filed.
Right.
Put a hold on this law taking effect. So between now and March 23rd, look for that.
Yes, and we will keep everyone posted on that. So check our Facebook page. And if you guys have any questions about any of these events, check our Facebook page. We have everything posted.
March 9th and 10th is the Women Have Options clothing swap, which I am the lead organizing volunteer on. I'm not doing that as part of this job, but I am organizing it anyway.
Can you describe what that is?
It's the Swap for Solidarity. So it's a fundraiser for Women Have Options. You bring a bag of clothes, whatever you are getting rid of the night before, and then you get a golden ticket. So it's $10 to get a golden ticket, and you can take as many. Yes. You can take as many clothing items the next day as you can physically carry. And it's really great. Like there's some really nice stuff. Like people don't bring like junk; they bring cool things. Costumes, items are like encouraged. We are going to have childcare this year, so you can bring your children and then shop. It's a really nice event. It's going to be at St. Stephen's Episcopal Church on OSU's campus.
I just remembered Mom's got a whole rack of like my sister's old.
Oh my God, please
stuff.
Bring it. Please.
Huge rack of like
please
bridesmaids dresses.
Oh my God, please bring it.
Yeah.
Bring it.
So I just bring this sack of crap that not crap, nice dresses, honestly.
Probably not crap.
That my sister doesn't wear anymore.
Is your sister like a size 10? You don't know.
She's I worked in a clothing store in college.
Were you at the Gap?
I was at Gap Kids.
Oh my gosh,
you look like
funny.
You look like a guy that worked at the Gap.
Yeah, you do look like a Gap.
It's where I learned my rule about childhood development.
Is that a Gap sweater that you're wearing now?
No, this was actually this is like vintage my dad's closet. So,
oh my gosh, I love it.
But it's where at Gap Kids I learned my rule of childhood development of the ages. It's 1 walk, 2 talk, 3 poop.
That is so funny.
Because I started the job, I was like, I don't know anything about kids.
Now he has 2 of his own.
Yes.
March 24th is going to be a Bustin' Stigma burlesque show. This is the 2nd year that this has happened, and it's another fundraiser for Women Have Options. And I mentioned this because I'm producing it. This is my 2nd year putting the show together.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah. And it'll be the first time that I've done burlesque since I was pregnant. Hopefully, if I get it together. I don't know. It's really hard to do things when I have a child.
Yes.
You're the burlesque stage manager.
Basically. Yeah, I'm putting the show together. Oh, I'm going to use the megaphones and make a bra.
Oh, nice.
like a 50s cone bra, but much more aggressive.
What date is this?
This is going to be March 24th. It's going to be at Bossy Girls Pinup Joint in Clintonville.
Nice.
And then April 10th, say the date, Lobby Day or Advocacy Day. What do we call it these days?
Lobby Day?
Internally, it's Lobby Day. Externally, it might be Advocacy Day.
Right. I think it's a coalition event, and some of the organizations do lobbying and some of them don't. And so to make it accessible to all of the groups that participate, we drop the word lobby out of the name. It's the same event. So it's an advocacy day.
Well, if anyone is interested in learning how to citizen lobby, I recommend the book Citizen Lobbyist by Amanda Knief, because anyone can lobby.
Cool. But the Freedom of Choice Ohio Advocacy Day, April 10th. Mm-hmm. So
my next craft afternoon will be April 8th, but
come to her craft afternoon.
Yeah.
So fun.
She's never been, but I appreciate
I don't
her
know
support.
how. I don't do it.
That's the thing. For craft afternoon, you can come and learn.
I know. I guess it's just not my thing.
That's fine. You don't have to. But if you're at all interested in crafting or want to learn how to craft, come.
Details for everything in the show notes.
Yes, true enough.
I did pretty good about remembering my calendar.
You did very well.
Mm-hmm.
You did extremely well, actually. My memory sucks.
It's okay. Also, keep an eye out for an organizing meeting in Columbus with Planned Parenthood. And then April we'll probably have one in Dayton, since we had one in February with Dayton. So
cool.
Keep an eye out.
Yeah.
Party hard.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.